Well, that's just some of the voices at the rallies last night. With me is the Greece analyst Marco Vicenzino, Director of Global Strategy Projects. I mean, it's a very long question and confusing, perhaps, for some people who want to answer it absolutely directly.
Ordinary citizens are still struggling to understand what the question exactly is. It's convoluted, it's technocratic, and for many it's mind-boggling. And some would say that it's been deliberately and intentionally designed to make it incomprehensible in a way that it would favor the no vote.
But EU leaders, the ECB, the IMF, the Troika, as it were, would be saying, look, actually, forget the question. What it's about is, do you want to stay in the Eurozone or the Euro? In fact, not just the Euro, the Eurozone, according to some of the threats.
That's the message from Europe. Even Prime Minister Matteo Renzi of Italy said it specifically. He made the point. He said it's a vote between either the drachma or the euro. And then in addition, there was also the fact that most European leaders, there's been this unanimity factor. On the Greek side, basically what Tsipras is telling his people, vote no, give me a mandate, I go back to Europe, and once I'm back in Europe, I'll deliver a deal in 48 hours and the banks are going to open by Tuesday.
But is it a false perspective? I mean, is the question even valid? Is this deal still on the table?
It sits, exactly. The point of reference for this for this referendum is specifically a deal that no longer exists. So it can be, it's either they say it's an exercise in democracy, it can also be seen as an exercise in semantics. So once again, it's this whole, they don't know, they are struggling. There's so many factors. There's also the fact that there's deprivation of voting rights. There's many Greeks, urban Greeks, thousands of them, who for them to vote are registered in remote areas back in where their origins come from. You need money and you need time to get back there. And with 1 week to go, they don't have access to money because the banks are closed. And to be able to go back home, they won't be able to afford it. So these are not just a few hundred. These are thousands of Greeks being denied of their voting rights with just 1 week to vote.
But whichever way it goes, is it likely that the banks are going to open again on Tuesday? I mean, where's the liquidity going to come from these banks?
That's a decision that the European Central Bank has to make. I mean, Varoufakis, the finance minister, said that the banks will open immediately after referendum. But if the European Central Bank is not going to be giving them liquidity or extending them more money, basically his promises come to nothing.
And when it comes to the legality of the vote and the fact that you normally would have international observers for something like this, what is happening there?
Council of Europe earlier this week said it does non-binding guidelines, but most do follow, most countries. You need 2 weeks to set up a referendum so the voters will understand exactly what they're voting for, and it also gives time for the Council of Europe to send monitors. This time around, it's just been in 1 week, so that's in principle in violation. And then secondly, what happens is the fact that they're not going to be able to send monitors.
Okay. Marco Vicenzino, we will see and watch with interest as those exit polls, we think, will come out tomorrow evening, just a few hours after the polls close. And we have a special programme.